Hey, what's up, everybody? So I was thinking just a minute ago about how through history we've changed so many different views on what things mean. And a good example might be in ancient times we had a lot of texts. And during when times were rough, we might interpret, say, God as being an angry God. And when times were going well, we might think that God was a happy God. That kind of stuff. How we interpret the different writings depending on what's going on in the history of people. And in the last couple centuries, in the industrial age and then the computer age, things have really taken another turn because we have so many different perceptions of things that are changing at such a fevered pace. We don't any longer have like decades or centuries of one way of thinking. It's just constantly changing. And the example what got me thinking about this was a video I came across, another one about the moon being a hologram. And it was a digital artifact produced by the camera, obviously, but the person claimed that, when I commented on it, he claimed that I was speaking out of opinion by saying it was a digital artifact, but he was saying the camera doesn't lie, basically, that he has evidence there. And it got me thinking about digital artifacts in camera photography and how things have changed over time. Since the digital age came about, perceptions of what pictures mean have changed because there are many different systems involved in creating a picture and understanding how the pixels and the whole camera system works. I'm definitely not an engineer in that way, but there are cues and informational artifacts that are left on many films as well as pictures that aren't necessarily part of the picture. And this has led people to seeing things like, things in the sky that may not be there, or pictures of Nibiru, or the hologram of the moon. And since these films just started coming out, would lend me to think that it's obviously something that's in the digital age. But I have yet to see a VHS tape that shows any of these supposed holograms or things. But either way, film is film. Film can have problems, but if you want to record these things on, say, a high 8 recorder, or use a tape where you can show these things, I'd be more likely to believe them than a digital camera, which all kinds of things happen between the shutter and the resulting picture. What's really got me thinking this way and being suspicious about these things is the whole UFO controversy. I believe in UFOs. I do believe that they've visited or do visit, and I do believe that there are alien entities, but that's as far as I take it. I don't know if they are extraterrestrial. I don't know if they're interdimensional. I don't know if they live right next to me. I don't know if they're living on this plane and break through into this dimension, perhaps. Or if they're really from another planet. How they travel, none of this. There's too many different ideas and speculations for me to say, yes, I believe this. But I do believe in extraterrestrials, and I do believe that ships have been visiting us for a long time. But that said, I've gone back through the history of UFO photography and film, and it's interesting to watch how the UFOs appeared. There was a frenzy after 1947 with the Roswell incident, and you see all these films, even films and pictures that haven't been proven to be hoaxes from those times, they show the UFOs as little tin cans flying around. They really have no understanding of what we see a UFO as. Like, I'd never seen an old picture of UFO drawn as they are now. I mean, there were some, but most of the pictures that were taken were obvious hoaxes back in those days. And so what people pictured a UFO as, like a flying saucer, has changed into, triangular ships. And people often, I'll ask myself, if these are advanced races, they're not going to evolve at the same rate we are. It's not like they're having an industrial revolution where they're driving tin cans and all of a sudden they, what I'm saying is that the people back then couldn't envision the kind of things that they might really be. But I'm not denying that there weren't UFO sightings everywhere. I mean, back in the 50s, I think 52, they circled the Capitol, and I guess they hovered above it. I can't remember the whole story. There have been so many crazy stories of real UFOs that it's okay to admit that some of them are bunk, is what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to do is correlate the UFO, the way we changed our perceptions of UFOs as time went on, and the same things happening not just with UFOs but with the pictures. You know, we have all these weird things that are going on, like rods and stuff like that, that I was interested in until I basically couldn't find any real evidence for it, and all the evidence was weighed against it as being a digital artifact. So I guess that's really the point here, is that, you know, it's cool to wonder and to want to believe that we see things through a lens of a camera that are true, but we have to understand how these cameras work, because there's a lot of people out there who fall for this stuff. So generally it's okay, you know, if a person wants to believe the moon's a hologram, that's really their choice. But when they're promoting that as fact, it makes it hard, because you see these people who are more susceptible to fall for this kind of stuff, and they get sucked into it. And so I have to weigh the balance and expose the fact that most of it is bullshit. I don't believe the moon's a hologram, nor that they put a hologram up over the moon. All of these ideas are ludicrous, and they have no basis in any scientific fact or understanding whatsoever. And you can argue all day with these people. It doesn't matter. They want to believe it so badly that they're willing to suck as many people in as they can. And I can't imagine anything scarier than spending my life thinking the sky is a hologram. So, you know, when I hear people say that, it makes me want to say, hey, don't worry. The sky is real, okay? You know, there's not this monster conspiracy to hide the real moon from you. And I don't know how people fall for it. But it really reveals a lot to me about people in general, you know. That's why I'm so wary about, you know, believing news stories. I have to go completely deep into it and say, okay, what's the basis for this? And the moon hologram thing, I think, is just total bogus. But to each their own, right? Peace out.